Frank Starmer, he's my pop. Today he turns 80. Hip hip hooray. Bam. StatQuest. Hello, I'm Josh Starmer and welcome to StatQuest. Today we're going to talk about my pop and he's going to be clearly explained. Today, my pop, Frank Starmer, turns 80. Hooray! As you might imagine, my pop had a large influence on my life, and, as a result, a huge influence on StatQuest. So, today I want to go over 3 ways my pop has influenced me and StatQuest. Lesson number 1. If you've heard me talk about StatQuest before, you've probably already heard me say that it is important to focus on the main ideas. However, it's so important that I cannot repeat it enough. So let me repeat it one more time. Focus on the main ideas. A good example on the importance of focusing on the main ideas comes from when I took my first statistics class. In this class, instead of learning the main idea, we memorized a lot of individual recipes. For example, when we learned about t-tests, we had to memorize these equations to calculate p-values. Then, later on, when we sort of learned about ANOVA, we had to memorize this nasty-looking equation to calculate a p-value. Then, when we learned about linear regression, we had to memorize these double nasty-looking equations to calculate p-values. Ugh! Instead of learning the main idea, I was learning recipes. However, my pop showed me how, even though these equations look very different, they are all related to this one relatively easy to remember equation. F equals the explained variance divided by the unexplained variance. This one equation, which does t-tests, ANOVA, and regression with equal ease, is one of the main ideas in all of statistics. It's simple and powerful, and, unlike learning a bunch of isolated recipes, you only have to learn one overarching concept that can be applied in all kinds of situations. Bam! Note, if you're not already familiar with this main idea and how awesome it is, then I highly recommend checking out the StatQuests on linear models. These StatQuests, more than any other, are based on the lessons my pop gave me during that first statistics class. Lesson number 2. There's always a better way. When I was young, my pop had a poster on his door that showed turtles swimming across a river. Except the last one wasn't swimming, it was paddling. And the poster said, "There's always a better way." I think about this poster all the time because it gives me the courage to make StatQuest different from other data science channels. When I learn new subjects, I am usually in awe of both the material and the way it was taught. But then I think about this guy, and I think, just because I learned something one way doesn't mean I have to teach it the same way. Because there is always a better way. Knowing this pushes me to try harder to find a better way. Double bam! Lesson number 3. Don't guess. Do the math. Back when I was a kid doing math homework, I had something that looked like this. The goal was to solve for x. So I did a little algebra and moved all the constants to the left side. And when I saw this, I said, bam, x equals 1. Then my pop said, "You're guessing." Then I said, "No, I'm not. When I plug in x equals 1, the math works out." And my pop said, "Don't guess, do the math." So, finally, I finished the math. And I saw that I was wrong. My pop was right. I had been guessing. From this, I learned that it was easy to be fooled into skipping steps and guessing when the answer looked obvious. And that, no matter how obvious the solution is, Unless I take the time to do the math, step by step, I am just making a guess. Now, when I'm learning a new algorithm, I make sure I work through every single step of the process, no matter how simple it looks. By doing this, I often discover new insights that other people omit. Beep boop boop beep beep boop 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 beep boop boop boop. Bam! One of the best examples of how going through the math, step by step, resulted in a deeper understanding is my series on neural networks. These videos show the power of my pop's advice. Triple bam! In summary, my pop influenced me and StatQuest by telling me 1. Focus on the main ideas. 2. There's always a better way. And 3. Don't guess, do the math. Now, last but not least, happy birthday, Pop! Hooray! We've made it to the end of another exciting Stat Quest. If you like this Stat Quest and want to see more, please subscribe. And if you want to support Stat Quest, consider contributing to my Patreon campaign, becoming a channel member, buying one or two of my original songs or a t-shirt or a hoodie, or just donate. The links are in the description below. Alright, until next time, Quest on!